Welcome. We are getting close to the end of our semester together. Please let me know if you need anything, and I'm kind of curious how you're feeling about finishing the semester. Let me know if you have any concerns. We need to be able to construct a 5-number summary from a set of data. Here I give you a list of what a 5-number summary consists of. We need the minimum, we need Q1 or the lower quartile, we need the median, we need the upper quartile or Q3, and we need the maximum. We've already seen 5-number summaries on box and whisker plots. They are those important features that are listed on there or that you can pull off from the number line, but you want to be able to create a 5-number summary from a data set. So in this image up here, they've listed the median, the minimum, the maximum, the lower quartile, and the upper quartile. And I think they've done that accurately there. But let's go give it a try with a different data set. If you try these out, you can fill in your values and it'll tell you whether you are correct or not. The minimum value here I think is 1 and the maximum is 28. And these are already organized from least to greatest, so that's really, really handy. But if they weren't organized, we would have to do that first. Our median, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 data points, and so that means I'm going to have to look at the 5th and 6th data points in the list, which I think are those two. Notice that there are 4 data points below and 4 data points above. We'll need the average of 15 and 17 for the median. So if you did 15 plus 17, you'd get 32, and divide by 2 would give you 16. Or you might just look at 15 and 17 and say, oh, I recognize that 15 and 17 are equally split by 16. I put mine in the wrong spot. That's why it says no. 16 is the median. All right, now I have a happy green check mark. For the lower quartile, we look at all of the data points below the median. So everything less than 16. That is all of these data points. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. This third one right here, that will be our lower quartile. It is the median of the lower half of the data. So that one should be 6. For the upper quartile, we look at everything that is higher than the median of 16 in this case. So look over here. There are 5 data points over there, and the third one of those is 21, and that is the upper quartile. This is the same data set with one of the entries removed. Still want to make a 5-number summary. You're still going to get green check boxes if you get these correct. The minimum is 1, the maximum is 25. Now that we have 9 data points, it's the 5th entry that should be our median. So I think 15 will be our median. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 data points below and 1, 2, 3, 4 data points above. So 15 here. The lower quartile is the median of the lower half of the data set, the median of everything less than 15. And so we'd have to take 4 and 6 and find their average. 4 plus 6 will give us 10, divided by 2 will give us 5 for the lower quartile. We do the same thing on the upper half of the data. There are 4 entries. So 20 and 21, we need the average of those for the median of the upper half of the data or the upper quartile. The average of 20 and 21 will be 20.5. I think that one is all set. Let's see, do I have space for that? I do. All right. We need to give the 5-number summary based on this box and whisker plot. And we're pretending it's the number of visitors to some special exhibit at the Kalamazoo Valley Museum. You can make some approximations, but I think we can find them by clicking on the picture, the graph over there. And we need to give percentile statements for Q1, Q2, and Q3. So let's see, let's go make our 5-number summary. Let me just make kind of a format for this. Min, Q1, the median, Q3, and the max. And we'll put our statements under there when we get there. All right. If I click on the graph, I get 5 comma 1. I know it looks kind of strange, but what we want to grab is this first coordinate, this 5. So this first minimum value is 5. The maximum value is 48. Don't worry about the ones, just grab the 5 and the 48. So minimum value, 5 visitors, maximum, 48 visitors. The median is on this center bar. Let me see if I can get one to pop up. There we go. We want the first coordinate of this set of values that's given to us. We want the 18. So there's our median. Q1 comes from the left side of the box. So if I come up here, oh, it looks like that's kind of a funny number, 10.5 visitors. I'm not quite sure what that means, but remember that because this might have been computed from 2 values, might have been trying to split the difference between 10 and 11, for example. So 10.5 visitors for Q1. So even though we can't really have half of a visitor, we could still have this cropping up statistically. For the upper quartile, or Q3, let's go click over here. 28, that's how many we need. All right, so we've listed all of these. There's our 5-number summary. But then it says also give percentile statements for Q1, Q2, and Q3. The median is also called Q2. Okay, so maybe we go put that in there for right now. I wanted to go reread the problem statement for just a second. Daily number of visitors. Okay. Let's see. For percentile statements, Q1 goes with the 25th percentile. So what this tells us is that, let's see, let me put this in here as well. 10.5 visitors is at the 25th percentile. And this is visitors on a given day. This means that 25% of the days used in the data set had 10.5 visitors or fewer. The 25th percentile gives us the first 25% of our data points if they were all listed in order. So 25% of the days that were used in the data had this level of visitors or fewer. We're going to do a similar thing with Q2 and Q3. Maybe we can just copy and paste some of this and fix it up. Maybe that would be faster. So Q2, the median, goes with the 50th percentile, and our value there was 18 visitors. And that's at the 50th percentile. This means that 50% of the days used in the data set had 18 visitors or fewer. The median chops our data sets in half above, half below. And then statisticians will argue about how many are exactly at the median. We're not going to do the arguing. Let's grab this. Let's go make a similar statement for Q3. So Q3, the upper quartile, goes with the 75th percentile. The number for that was 28 visitors at the 75th percentile. And that means that 75% of the days used in the data set had 28 visitors or fewer. So this is how we can rephrase our quartiles into percentiles and then into percentages. A lot of stuff going on in there. In the very last portfolio assignment that you need to complete, you'll want to get 10 real data points with a citation about where they came from, and that might take more than one citation. But once you have those, you'll need to show and explain how to make a 5-number summary and interpret that summary in terms of quartiles and percentiles. So we were just working on that. You'll also want to be able to find the mean and the mode of the data set. And I'm kind of wondering how you're feeling about doing that at this point. So you can vote yes or no on whether you're confident or not. Let's interpret some other percentiles. I give you an example here. If a person's cholesterol level is at the 70th percentile for their age, that means that 70% of similar people will have the same cholesterol level or lower. So we'd like to be able to make statements like this. Take a percentile over to a percentage. But it's not quite that straightforward. So let's select all of these that are true. If we have a height at the 45th percentile for a first grader, that indicates that 45% of the first graders have the same height or less. I think that seems reasonable. A home price at the 63rd percentile in some neighborhood lets us know that 63% of home prices in that area are at the same level or below. I think so. 63rd gets translated into 63% at the same level or below. Looks good. Finally, if a score of 65% is passing, and we know that a student had a test score at the 74th percentile, then we know that they passed the test. I don't think that we know this for sure. 74th percentile, oops, don't believe that blue check. 74th percentile just means that we know that 74% of students were at the same level or below. It could be that they all failed. We don't know what the passing level is. So we do not get that. Percentiles give us a marker within the data set. It lets us know where we fall in the lineup, but it doesn't let us know things like pass-fail. We're headed toward another topic. We've already worked on mean, median, and mode. Those are measures of central tendency, or measures of center. Where's the middle of our data set? There's a few different ways to phrase that. We've already worked on range, which is one way to talk about how far spread out the data points are, measures of dispersion. But we need to get to standard deviation. And this is a bit stickier than some other things, okay? But kind of like when we did average daily balances, I kind of gave you a template to follow to find these. We'll have a similar thing here. Before we get there though, I want to make sure that you know about some fancy notation. You'll see this notation in the course pack, this X bar, and that is fancy, fancy, fancy notation for the average or the mean. So whenever you see that, just think of the mean. All right, so we'll pick up with this in the next video.